When I think about public art, I think about the ways in which it is creating a sense of interest within the communities that it's placed. The intention behind the art is to draw attention and induce a sense of public engagement and bring forth the desire for people to go and explore and see the work. That's the great beauty of public art, is it unifies the community. It's the space between the spaces. I think a lot about the ways that we are in our personal cells, our own boxes of confinement, our homes, our cars, our jobs, the stores we go to. And a lot of times the spaces in between those spaces is where community and culture really happen. And if we are neglecting those spaces, then who knows what's going to happen within those spaces. It's not somebody else's problem. It's our opportunity to interact with the community. It's the place where we gather. One of the main things that has developed over the course of my career is the concept of the ways in which we are participating in our communities. And the beginning of participation is the ways that we show up and the ways that we think. Thought is a very interesting thing. As many of you know, I spent almost a decade working inside of the super maximum security prison, making participatory art projects and working with inmates. The great thing that I learned from that project isn't that prison is only a construct of steel and concrete that holds people in. Prison is actually a way of thinking. And this way of thinking is something that we are all subjected to on a regular basis, because it is the ways in which each of us is thinking. If we hold ideas as being true or false, and then we identify with those things, it essentially becomes a psychological prison. Because if we look at things from only one perspective, then we have a very narrow perception of what that thing is. If we move our perspective, changing how we see things, if we move our perspective, changing how we if we move perspectives, changing the view that we have on things, not in an effort to change what was previously being seen, but to see wider things, we broaden our perception. This to me is how we get free from the prison of the mind. We have to open our minds. We have to expand our minds, not to be in conflict or to be confrontational towards different ways of thinking. We do this so that we have a greater understanding of the whole picture, whether we identify with that thing as being true or false or conflicting our own value systems. That can be presented to us in a way that we don't have to adopt ideologies and concepts that we don't agree with, but we can view those concepts and try to have a greater understanding so that we as a community can come together, but most importantly, so that within our minds, they're constantly expanding, so that we're not stuck in singular viewpoints that can be taken advantage of and manipulated to control. The work that I've been creating lately, as seen behind me here, is a concept based around the idea of expanding consciousness. I call them mindscapes, or the garden of the mind. Now, in the garden of the mind, I think about how we can grow things, how we can bring things to flourish instead of confining ideas into small shapes and boxes that make it unessential for us to think new thoughts. But one of the great things about being a human being is that we can expand our minds and think new thoughts. And we don't have to identify with those new thoughts. We can simply observe those new thoughts, transition those to different perspectives, and then have greater understandings of how others are thinking. And in that way, we can also have more accurate and expansive ways of thinking for ourselves. I'd like to expand this practice further through a series of murals that I'd like to create within the city that encourage exploring the spaces between the spaces, and construct several of these gardens of the mind as a series of murals that also encourage people to take walking trips. Now, the beauty of walking around community is that you're immersing yourself in the community, and you begin to see more of the cultures that exist within various neighborhoods and the community as a whole. So I'm looking to raise money to produce as many of these as I can. Generally, murals cost between $1,000 and $2,000 and up, depending on the size, shape, and scale of the detail within the mural. But I'd like to raise somewhere around $5,000 so that I am capable of starting this series of work and producing this art project for the city of Pueblo. So check the link below. If you can donate anything, it'd be greatly appreciated, and I'll keep everybody updated on how the progress is developing. I'm ready to start. I've got walls in place, I've got supplies in place. I just need to keep it going and create momentum for this project, which ultimately I see as a way of uplifting the community, expanding our minds, and creating a sense of participation that can live on through the community and expand into other people's practices and encourage people to go exploring and to be a part of this wonderful community that we're all living in. Thank you so much for your time in watching this video, and if you can donate anything, I would greatly appreciate it.